Well, I reckon I stumbled upon a fortune, I did. The Beverly Hillbillies, released in 1993 and is directed by Penelope Spheris, who has also directed such films like Uncle Tom's Fairy Tales, Suburbia, The Boys Next Door, Wayne's World, and The Little Rascals. And this film is starring Diedrich Bader, Dabney Coleman, Erica Leniak, Cloris Leachman, Reb Schneider, Leah Thompson, Lily Tomlin, and Jim Varney. And it's such a pleasure to see Jim Varney again on screen. I fell in love with him. I know him as Ernest from all of his Ernest movies, and also the spring weenie dog from the Toy Story films. I miss that guy so much. Also, I am gonna drop that accent that was just to introduce the video, because I can only take so much of that fake southern accent. And it was all through this movie. But the reason why we're talking about Beverly Hillbillies today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my constant supporters and contributors on this channel, James Philbrey. Thank you so much for the recommendation. I feel like I've seen bits and pieces of this movie throughout my life, or at least when I was younger. And I remember watching a couple episodes of the television show that this film is based on, that actually I just did a little research, and that show ran for almost 10 years, from 1962 to 1971. Holy shit! But I believe the episodes I watched were pretty early on in my life, so I have really no recollection as to what the show or episode or really the parts of this movie that I've seen were about. So this is kind of just me looking at all of this through completely fresh eyes again. Jed Clampett lives out in Arkansas with his hillbilly family. However, one day while hunting, he stumbles upon a ginormous oil mine, making Jed one of the richest people in the world. And he reckons, well, if he's gonna have some money, then he should probably move to a finer place to give his family some finer things, and the only place he can think of is Beverly Hills, California. So these hillbillies bring a ton of southern charm to the West Side state, while personal bankers and anyone of, quote, high importance, unquote, tries to gain their favor. All in the background, an evil scheme is being hatched by Lily Thompson and Rob Schneider, in hopes that Lily Thompson can convince Jed to make her his bride, so that she and Rob Schneider can get all of the money for themselves. And that's all you need to say, really. Rob Schneider is in this movie. You know what kind of movie it is. And that's the most charming thing about this movie, is that it knows what it is, and it's not trying to be anything more, or grander, or taking itself way too seriously. All they're doing here is just cracking fun at this. Let's admit it, it's a pretty stupid concept, but it was new to the TV game back in the 60s, so it worked back then, but it's taking a look at it through a 90s lens, and the 90s lens, you can see just how really stupid this concept is. And not just in concept, these characters are pretty frickin' stupid. Every single person. Their mistaken identities, some things that are said are taken the absolute incorrect way. Some words are mispronounced to make it seem like, oh, it's funny, or I turned this word into a funny joke. And then Rob Schneider is pratfalling all over the place, and that's why I like doing the with that, because South Park coined that, and I think it's just perfect for Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider is a sleazy bank loan officer that is trying to get all of Jed's money, but he's about to find out just how hard it is. This is 100% straight up a parody on a comedy. It is not serious in any way. There's really no message behind this film at all. There's no, like, political message or any, like, life lessons that you could learn from this. This is just a parody, and they're just having fun and making fun, and you have to commend it in some sort of way, because it is fun a little bit, but then, gosh, the other half of my brain is just like, this is so frickin' stupid. How are you kind of enjoying this, Caleb? And I'm like, I don't know, Caleb. It's just happening. I'm confused too. It is a pleasure, like I said before, to see Jim Varney on screen again, and yeah, he's by far the best part of this movie, because that's who Jim Varney was. He was this type of hillbilly character with his established character of Ernest P. Worrell. I mean, you put a brown hat and some hillbilly clothes on Ernest P. Worrell, and you have this movie. You had Jed. But the film's heart was showing the most whenever Jed was on screen, and we were following the Jed storyline of him trying to find a wife. You had heartfelt moments in there, and you could see some fatherly moments with him and his daughter that I just really liked. I just love Jim Varney, and I wish he was still around. Diedrich Bader is here, who is I mean, it's the description that fits all of these characters, but his character is just plain old stupid. Yet everything kind of works out for him. What the hell? He has no concept of what anything is. Like, he graduated at 6th grade, and that was the accomplishment for him. And has no idea what words mean, certain words mean. So he's always taking it a different way than what it actually means, and they go back to that joke all the frickin' time in this movie, and the joke gets really old really quickly. Cloris Leachman was pretty hilarious as Granny, and from my recollection of the TV show when I did watch it as a kid, was the most accurate from the TV show version to this movie version. You rip it out of the TV version and they're the same characters, so she fits the aesthetic very well. And she could also do the high-pitched Granny voice, kind of like the Granny from the Looney Tunes. It's actually kind of perfect. If anything, she is the wisest and the smartest out of all of them. I don't know how far that extends, though. And then whenever Lily Thompson is on screen doing her fake French accent, my eyes just roll in the back of my head, and I know it's part of her character because these hillbillies don't know what a French accent is. They don't even know what France is. But it is eye-roll inducing. If you like just straight-up parodies where they're not trying to teach you anything or have no message behind them, it's just straight up, hey, here's the thing, and we're gonna make fun of it, and we're gonna overkill these jokes very easily and very quickly and all the frickin' time in this movie, then you would have a good time here. I was okay in the first, 30 minutes, but then after that point, and the jokes were all the same, the accents were driving me crazy, the stupidity of these characters was getting on my nerves, and it just got to the point where, I'm tired of this. I get what it is. It's not trying to be anything else. It's just trying to be a silly, stupid little comedy, and it is 100% that. I'm just bored with it because it's not doing anything different. I'm shocked, though, that the twist at the end was that they didn't lose all of their money. All the money stayed there with them. Spoiler alert, I guess, for anyone who hasn't watched this and is dying to watch this, so sorry. And it's really hard to do an in-depth analysis on this movie because there is no depth at all. Everything is so surface level. All the jokes are surface level. Hey, they're hillbillies, and that's funny, but it's charming for what it is. It's definitely forgettable. You know what you're getting when you sign up for this movie. It's just, could I just move on with my day? I'm gonna give the Beverly Hillbillies 2 out of 5 Blu-rays. I've had better. Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my video is where I pick which movie I'm gonna be watching next. And the next film that we're gonna be watching is from a first-time donator, ADR. Thank you very much for the donation, and you recommended the movie Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. Which I would assume that there's not much to do, because you're dead. I've never heard of this film before. I did look up the poster. There's Andy Garcia's face just right on the thing. Reading the title, I thought this was going to be like another funny parody film, kind of like a Steve Martin type film. But no, it looks pretty serious, and it looks like a gangster Godfather type movie, which makes sense. It's Andy Garcia. So guys, have you seen the Beverly Hillbillies? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you on the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.